Yeah, and it's definitely kind of showcasing its power. It has been shown a couple of times now, maybe in a couple of different variations as well. And it looks like Yang Shi will be going first after that dice roll with that indication there to both players. Both players just setting up, checking whether they have a basic to start off with, and we'll hopefully get a chance to get an eye on those prizes shortly as well.
Just trying to get a look at the opening hands as well. Looks like there's going to be a mulligan there from Stèphane, so no basics to start with for them. So there's going to be a one extra draw from Yang. I didn't quite see what Yang started with, actually. We're gonna get the list up here so we can give you guys at home a better idea of what both of these players are currently rocking. Because, yeah, Charizard, as I think you alluded to, it's a deck that can take on a lot of different forms, right? There's a lot of different ways you can build it, and there's no 100% agreed upon optimal way to play it. So when you're up against Charizard, you don't quite know what you're actually going to be up against.
Yeah, this version that Yang is piloting is the Charizard EX, built alongside the Pidgeot EX
okay.
As well, being able to utilize that quick search ability to just start plowing through the deck and getting all those key pieces whenever Yang wants. Of course, on Stéphane's side, we've seen a couple of different Guardy lists already. There's already some tweaks and interesting cards that we do see there, Freya, don't we?
Oh, wow, okay. That's a card we haven't seen in a while. Maybe should we save it as a surprise for later, or should we tell everyone at home now?
We'll keep it as a surprise for a little bit, but it's a card that will help in a number of different ways. A fantastic tool that's kind of come in and out of the list, as we do see both players kicking off our final round of day one.
So round 9, yeah, this is the last chance saloon in order for players to be able to try and make it to day 2. Yang going first, actually starting pretty optimally with that Mew.
Yep, exactly. And also alongside that Battle VIP pass,
oh, yes,
getting a chance to double check those prizes there and just eyeing up a few of those. Obviously, the main attacker, the main sort of bulk of the deck being that Charizard with, well, the Charmanders to begin with into the Charizard, but those Pidgeys as well to try and utilize that quick search, as we already mentioned. It's really important here to be able to set up. Is going first as well, so fantastic way to begin their first turn.
Yeah, I got to be feeling pretty good about that. And right now, just deciding what the best 2 Pokemon to get out, and it does get out one apiece of Charmander and Pidgey. Of course, makes sense. The key components of your deck strategy, you want to get those out as soon as you can. Yeah,
exactly. And knowing as well that Stèphane will not be able to take any KOs onto Yang's side of the board as well. Does have that Nest Ball for another card. It's eyeing up that Pidgeot V as well, which is another nice inclusion. Maybe to utilize some Forest Sealstone action, playing 2 copies of those as well. But has a very cool ability in Vanishing Wings, where it can just, when it's on the bench, shuffle itself away once it's used the Forest Sealstone.
Yeah, it's a card that we've seen used a lot in some Lost Box variants, funnily enough, mainly as a means of putting on that Forest Sealstone, making use of it, but then just kind of putting it back into the deck when you don't need it anymore. But interesting to see it being used here in Charizard. I think that's a new one on me. Yeah,
it's just another way to try and get some additional consistency with the Forest Sealstone as well, then not being really much of a liability at all, so that it can just kind of run away and hide back into the deck itself, as we do see Mew just grab that rare candy into Yang's hand there.
Yeah, also interesting, we don't see it often used, but the Pidgeot V does have an attack as well. That Flight Surf, it does for free colorless energy 80 damage, and then you have a Stadium in play, 80 more. It's not really necessarily the best. It's not what I want to go for most of the time, but maybe there's a situation where it becomes relevant.
Yeah, there's definitely worse attackers I've seen in the format, as there's the attachment onto the Charmander and a pass over to Stèphane. Does have that Fog Crystal, get a chance to himself identify what those prizes are available to him. Well, not available to him, I apologize. But also just double checking how he's going to set up this board state to handle an attacker which is hitting for weakness.
Yeah, that's going to be the big problem here for Stèphane. We've, of course, talked before about how one of the big advantages that Charizard has is that it being, of course, that Terra-type Dark, it does hit the Gardevoir EX for weakness, and so that's very, very easy. Even if Stèphane hasn't taken a single prize, Charizard EX can take a one-hit knockout on a Gardevoir EX for 2 prize cards, and that is not good news.
No, definitely not. So Stèphane will be having to time those evolutions up to the Gardevoir EX at the right spots. to be able to utilize that as an attacker, or not as an attacker, but as a support Pokemon for his single prize attackers, which deal heavy amounts of damage with the more psychic energies attached to them. That's Sash and V, that's Gardevoir with the Brainwave, Shining Arcana ability, as we do see a Mew move into the active spot, looking for an ideal trainer card to kind of support the setup here.
So I think Level Ball here is going to be the pick, yeah?
Yep, does have another Level Ball in hand, I believe, as well. A couple, is that a Curlier? So a few different options there as the Level Ball is played. Expecting to see, yep, a route come down onto his side of the board.
Yeah, pretty solid there. So 2 routes going down so far. Of course, ideally you want to get more, but you got to work with what you're given. I don't think we're going to... Stèphane, of course, missing the Battle VIP. Oh! Never mind, they just had the other 2 routes in hand.
There you go. Doesn't even need to worry about it too much. And it's a pass over to Yang. And now it's just interesting to see how he's going to play out this turn. Of course, does have that rare candy already in hand. Opts for the Mysterious Tail from the active Mew to begin his turn here as well. There's the Battle VIP pass he would have liked to have seen a little bit earlier. Just double checking. Otherwise, he's got a supporter in hand and the Arvin. So it does look like he's able to actually begin chaining a lot of the sort of evolution options that are available to him.
Yeah, although finding Battle VIP pass off that Mew, not really great. It's, of course, we've passed that turn 1 where you actually can play it. So more just taking it just to thin out the deck, like you mean as well, but not really what you're looking for. And yeah, Yang going to be go for the Arvin now. I
mean, with the Arvin play, that Ultra Ball is something I was going to highlight as well, at least as a way to get discarded and then get either, well, what seems potentially likely the Pidgeot EX alongside maybe a Forest Seal Stone, because then you can chain both evolutions on his second turn here and just really start applying pressure in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, this is really where the Charizard Pidgeot deck is at its strongest, right? Where you have the means to like set up the chain of rare candy into Pidgeot and then search the other piece to rare candy into Charizard, and then all of a sudden you've got your whole strategy set up there and there, and as long as that Pidgeot doesn't get KO'd, you know that every single turn you can rely on it to search the exact card you need, especially going up against a deck like Stéphane's, which is unlikely to pay Path to the Peak.
Yep, exactly that. We'll always have access to that Pidgeot EX there, as he does opt for the rare candy and the Forest Seal Stone. And here we go, the Forest Seal Stone onto the Pidgeot V. This is what it's here for, being able to utilize that Star Alchemy ability because of the attachment there. And we'll just need to look to grab any Pokemon, or it looks like he's moved the Charizard EX to the active spot as well, oh, to the front of his deck, sorry, as an option, and has the Infernal Rain ready to go.
Just getting it all still preset up, right? Just get the Charizard, get the energy. Probably going to be going for the Pidgeot as well, so we can see the chain sort of progressing in real time. Rare candy into the Pidgeot, and then going to be able to do a quick search to get the other rare candy, and then find the Charizard deal. Oh,
I believe he already has the rare candy in hand, so it's just the Charizard the active. So this is fantastic chaining of events here, as we do see the Charizard go into hand. The rare candy already grabbed from the Mew on turn 1. Instant evolution there. Infernal Rain coming down with potentially free fire energies from the deck, just deciding whether that's going to be the option.
Yeah, it's always the tricky bit, right? When you don't have like enough other attackers down, it's do you actually want to accelerate all the energy? Because it might be that you're putting them on something that isn't going to be beneficial in the long run. But it looks like Yang opting for 2, so it's probably going to be, I would guess, 1 on the active and 1 on the Charizard.
Yeah, that option to try and pivot around as well. Does still have energy in hand to attach for his turn at the same time. So we do see the hard retreat there from the Mew in the active spot. The big Charizard EX with that 330 HP in the active spot now. And just going to start applying pressure onto Stéphane's side of the board. The only thing that's missing from Yang's side is potentially getting another Charmander down.
Yeah, and I'm sure in an ideal world he would have liked to do that, because then he could, take free from the Infernal Rain, attach from hand, and it would all be like meaningful attachments. But recognizing that he doesn't need to overcommit more than is actually relevant to his game plan, just attaching the 2.
Yeah, exactly that. And there's other interesting cards in this type of list as well. He does play double Lost City. So looking for that opportunity when taking knockouts on Curliers or Routes or Gardevoirs, just getting them in the Lost City doesn't have to give Stèphane access to them again through Super Rods. So yeah, interesting to see how this game plan is going to come and to the fruition, really, as we do see Stèphane kick things off with a refinement into a second one.
and he's going to be able to do more afterwards as well, because we do see an Ultra Ball and a Level Ball ready to go in hand as that refinement finds. Is that a Radiant Greninja? Was that another Curlier? Oh no, it's a Shining Arcana Gardevoir. Okay.
Yeah, so lots of options here available to Stèphane. There's the Radiant Greninja. Always good to draw more cards. We spoke about this last time and earlier in multiple rounds, just that consistency of Radiant Greninja that it offers. And the synergy with Psychic Embrace. Looks like just a pass.
Yeah, I think the problem here is that there was nothing that Stèphane really wanted to discard. You know, they could have gone for another Curlier with a Level Ball, but then you're discarding an Ultra Ball or a Shining Arcana Gardevoir, and you don't really want to discard either of those. Yep,
exactly that. And with Gardevoir not really minding sometimes to be a little bit further behind, you know, being able to then utilize stuff like that reversal energy and eventually just being a big, massive attacker with that Zacian, for example, or one of the Shining Arcana Gardevoirs. This is okay, maybe give up one more prize, and then really need to start thinking about how I'm going to take return KOs here.
Yeah, definitely don't. Definitely don't want to be overcommitting early on, especially when you know, as you mentioned earlier, you have to get that timing with the old Gardevoir EX just right. But there's a boss's orders though.
There's a boss's orders. That quick search utilized pretty quickly on his turn by Yang to be able to, get that other Charmander down. Vanishing Wings activated, so it goes and hides itself back into the deck as well, not giving Stèphane an easy target for any of his turns. So, taking 2 prizes now, 4 more prizes to go for Yang. Going to feel like in a good spot, but of course, Gardevoir can just come back out of nowhere.
Yeah. The one thing that Yang has going for him is that this is one of those few decks that can easily take back-to-back knockouts on Gardevoir EX. The tankability of Gardevoir EX is what makes this Stage 2 deck have the late game that it does. But if you're going up against something that can hit you for weakness, that's kind of taken away a little bit.
Yep, as we do see the Level Ball come down here, grabbing that Mana Feed, just kind of thinning the deck. That little bit more, of course, can just start pitching that Mana Feed away with Refinement where necessary. Really looking for the right combo of cards here. So we do see Concealed Cards as the first draw option and opportunity here. Psychic Energy and the Fog Crystal potentially could thin a little bit more.
Maybe even find at this point a Zacian V if you think that you can actually go for a big attack with that, but no, just draw more with Refinement instead.
So it looks like eyeing on that Shining Arcana as an option to continue drawing more. Do see it evolving the active spot there. Shining Arcana being activated, it looks like.
Yep. Finding a Worker and a Reversal Energy. Okay, so Reversal Energy is quite relevant here because Stèphane is currently behind on prizes.
Yep, correct, but it's a long way to even think about trying to one-hit KO this big Charizard EX at 330 HP. Remember, Brainwave dealing 60 damage plus 30 for each Psychic Energy attached.
You would need 9, right? 9 attached would get you there.
9 times 30 gives you 270.
So yeah, that would be 330
in total. It's a long way though. It's a long way.
It is a long way, but you only need 6 Psychic Energy because you have 3 provided from the reversal. So I actually think that Stèphane might have enough to do it this turn,
Agreed. It's just now coming down to this Ultra Ball, which, we can't quite see the energies that are discarded in Stéphane's side of the board, but if there are 6 there, it does grab the Psychic Embrace Gardevoir EX. So is this the turn? Is this possible here?
Yes. The problem is there's no rare candy. So what you have to do here is, Fog Crystal for the Zacian V, attach the Forest Steel Stone and use that to find the rare candy, and then you're good to go.
So looks like there may be an opportunity here for Stèphane to be able to take a return KO here, equal things up. There's the Forest Sealstone, Star Alchemy working on his side of the board now, as he will look for what looks to be as he insta-grab the rare candy.
And you've got to think, if they're going for this, you have to think that they have enough engine discard power, right? We did see them discard a lot over the course of the first few turns of the game, so yeah, I think it seems to be very unlikely that they'd be going for this if it wasn't a possible move.
Yeah, 100%. I'm following along with you, Freya, and I believe you are very likely to be correct here. Then, if that knockout does happen on this turn, got this Charizard or Charmander on the bench, needs to start putting some action in. But remember, does have access to that Pidgeot EX and grab whatever Yang would like.
Yeah, and that's of course the it's really the backbone of this version of the Charizard strategy, right? The only problem is this is a kind of turn where there's more than one thing you need. You need a rare candy, you need a Charizard, and you need a boss's orders, so essentially bring in that Gardevoir EX potentially. And it's Pidgeot can only find you one card.
Very true, very true. I mean, there's lots of little things that we potentially could see here. That Gardevoir in the active spot has only got 20 HP left.
That's true, yes.
So things like a Charmeleon could come out of nowhere with the fire energy.
Wow, like with the combustion.
But, it comes down to how Yang wants to play this turn down, has seen one of the reversal energies already. So let's see exactly what's going to happen. We do see the Pidgeot EX go into the active spot, something you've highlighted before with that free retreat.
Yeah. So it's just great, as if it needed it to be good, right? Just the fact that it has that as well is just an amazing added bonus that you can just bring up in the active and then just not have to worry what you end up retreating into because you just think about it later.
Yeah, definitely there. So giving Yang an opportunity to have a free retreater, give a chance to think about what his turn could play out to be like. Looks like he's just going to activate that quick search there. Let's have a little look, see what he takes from this deck search here.
If you want to go mega aggressive here, one of your best options is if you can get another Charmander down, you just go into one Charizard, rare candy, boss KO, and then follow up next time another boss KO with another Charizard. But it does rely on you finding the exact right combo of cards every single turn. So I don't know if Yang has the means to pull that off. You do see a rare candy in hand already.
Yeah, so is it going to be one of those turns where he tries to target down that Gardevoir EX there? But surely you can't allow this Gardevoir in the active spot with that Shining Arcana to stick around.
Yeah, that's the other problem, of course, because it is doing a lot of damage, and if you end up KOing something on the bench, then it's just going to come back in and KO right back. So it's something you can only really do if you're sure that you can follow up boss to take your 6 prizes to win, but I actually don't know if that's possible right now.
I mean, just because we are in a very privileged position to understand and know what lists are available, it is possible because Yang also plays the Radiant Charizard. And, with that Excited Heart ability, reducing its attack cost, can target down that Zacian V on the bench for the final 2 prizes as well, but opts to use Iono just to be able to disrupt Stéphane's hand. It was quite actually a good hand. It had Collapsed Stadium in there as well, I believe. So let's just try and work out the next movements here for Yang's deck, as he does get a Nest Ball, which is a big, big draw.
That's a big, big find, yeah. So we'll be able to get down another Charmander from that. Also, actually, there is something else that's relevant about carrying this Gardevoir. Stèphane does not have much draw on their side of the board.
Very true.
If the Gardevoir goes down, it's pretty much only the Greninja that's going to be able to give draw there.
Yeah, and I've just sort of clocked another card that could potentially just deal that 20 damage if he chooses to do so. Obviously, has not gone for that, and has just gone for the attack there by the Charizard EX, that Burning Darkness. But that Pidgey also can deal 20 damage with Gust.
Yeah, not opting to play the new 50 HP Pidgey, opting to play the Obsidian Flame 60 HP one instead, and just Gust one colorless energy does 20 damage. That would also get the job done.
Yeah, there you go. But opting for just a Charmander Charizard route at the moment. Zacian V in the active spot. Stèphane just double checking his resources. Does he have enough to really bring it back through this game? Because he only plays the 1 copy of Reversal Energy.
Oh, okay. So actually taking out that Gardevoir is pretty huge then, because there's no chance of another Gardevoir coming down with another Reversal Energy and doing that level of damage again. Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it's massive. As just double checks there, looks like he's going to be using that concealed cards. As you already mentioned, the only draw currently available to Stèphane does opt. He's just testing himself, opting for that Super Rod first. Does he let go? There it is.
I think he just wants to find more things to both attack and roar, right? We see you're not even going for the Gardevoir and just 2 Curliers and a Rolts, just trying to set up more consistency to actually be able to draw through the rest of this game.
Yeah, it's vital to be able to continue using those refinements, just seeing those extra cards, because that deck's not the finish, was what you typically do see sometimes with Guardi very quickly. So it's just a number of pieces that Stèphane will still need. Hits the Super Rod and a
Town Store.
Yeah, Town Store for all of those tools that he plays, that Forest Sealstone, and alongside that card, we mentioned a little bit, hadn't quite mentioned a little bit earlier.
We mentioned it, but we didn't say what it was.
Yeah, Stèphane does play an Emergency Jelly, which is something he might be pulling out here. You know, it's another card to thin out the deck. Emergency Jelly, something we haven't seen in a while, but at the end of each turn, if the Pokemon this card attached to has 30 HP or less remaining and has any damage counters on it, heal 120 from it, and when it's healed, discard this card.
It was a card that we saw a lot of experimentation in Gardevoir because, of course, you could attach to a Shining Arcana Gardevoir, you know, 6 attachments from Psychic Embrace, 120 damage, and then at the end you just heal it all off with the Emergency Jelly.
Yeah, immediate worker there to remove his own stadium, draw 3 cards. There's a level ball, so will find himself a Refinement Curlier at the same time. Can he continue finding the right pieces he needs to try and retaliate here?
I mean, he can retaliate as long as there's 9 Psychic Engine in discard pile. You can just Psychic Embrace 9 times, right? And that will get you there. Again, that will give you that Storm Slash, like with Brainwave. It's pretty much the exact same text, right? 60 damage and then 30 more for each Psychic attached to it. So as long as Stèphane has 9 in a discard, they should be good to go.
I think then it's just trying to look for that final piece, which is the Disrupt Yang's hand with an Iono or something like that. Because you can't really allow Yang to work with...
But Stéphane's already played a worker, haven't
yeah,
they?
so actually it's not even possible.
Yeah. So I did find that on the Rolts that was shuffled back in, there is a Fog Crystal and a Psychic Energy in hand. Is that enough? Does that get Stèphane there? Pops up down Cresselia too, interestingly enough.
Can at least limit the number of Charmanders and Charizards that potentially could come down on future turns. So if that Cresselia is used to maybe take out the Charmander on the bench, and there's no gusting option from Yang's side, maybe that's one way that Stèphane can bring himself back into this game.
So let's do the count here. I think I see, is that 7? Yeah, that's 7 in. So with the Psychic Energy in hand, and it's just a little bit short. There's a Psychic Energy in hand and a Fog Crystal, but of course you can't attach 2 from the hand. So I think instead it's going to be attach 1 from hand, and then Psychic Embrace once, and then going into the Cresselia. Yeah, just so Stèphane was 1 energy short of the knockout there.
I guess the worrying thing is he wouldn't want to put too many damage counters on that Zacian V himself, just to kind of put it in range of easy attackers elsewhere. So just utilizing Psychic Embrace to get damage counters on his Psychic Pokemon on the board, using Cresselia's Moonglow Reverse, and then maybe just taking out the Charmander. If then next turn he's able to retaliate on this Charizard EX and there's no other Charmanders, maybe that's one way for Stèphane to take this game.
Yeah, just try and sum things up first in that regard. There's more Psychic Embraces going on. That's...
Yeah, Moonglow Reverse only allowing you to move 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to one of your opponents. But I guess it's one of those things where it's maybe just prepping some future attack on following turns.
Yeah, I guess with this, what you can do is just Moonglow Reverse onto that Charmander, right? And then that's going to be 1 less energy acceleration option, or 1 less Charizard that Yang can develop into.
Yep, so we do have the 2 energies on the Curlier there as well, and on the routes on the bench, 1 on the Zacian V. Does Yang have another way to get another Charmander? I think we've already seen 3. Does have, I think I saw an Arven and an Ultra Ball. It's going to double check things with a quick search first, being able to take any card from the deck and put it into your hand. So many different options.
The deck's still very,
very Charmander. Thick. Does have the Combustion Blast, Radiant Charizard in deck as well. That can deal 250 damage. Right now with 3, well, it requires 2 energy attachments.
Yeah, the problem right now is, of course, because Stèphane only took 1 prize, there's no way for Yang to be able to power this up because the Charmander has been taken out, so there's no way to accelerate energy onto this Radiant Charizard if it does come out. Yeah,
so I think Yang will want to try and set up the board where possible. Does grab the boss from the quick search there as an option. Looks like he's eyeing up that Pidgey as well, but there's the Ultra Ball, discarding that Pidgey, and eyeing up that rare Candy in hand.
Ooh. I guess the rest of the cards in the deck are too important. And
I like this. Okay. I like this. Being able to set up your board, so you're trying to checkmate Stèphane where possible. You know, as you've already mentioned, Stéphane's not going to play the part.
So yeah, absolutely not. So it's going to be the situation where Yang goes boss on the Gardevoir, KO it. Stéphane's going to be forced to KO the Charizard back, and then Yang can come in to finish the Zacian off and take the game from there.
I think Stéphane's seen the writing on the wall there as he does just scoop up his prizes, and that will be 1-0 to Yang. You know, taking a massive step forward into trying making it into day 2 of Lille Regional Championship.
Yeah. And that is exactly what we were talking about earlier with the struggle that Gardevoir can have, right? Gardevoir is an inherently very strong deck, and there's no doubt about that. But knowing that at any point it is so easy for the Gardevoir deck to just pick off, rather for the Charizard deck to pick off a Gardevoir EX just with the boss's orders, even in the early stages of the game where we say about how usually the problem with Charizard is that early on it doesn't do that much damage, right? It's only later on when there's more prize cards are taken. But no, again, when you're hitting for Dark-type weakness, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and especially when you're drawing into all of those combo pieces. He just needed that one combo turn to get that Pidgeot EX up, and then instantly can just build up that massive Charizard EX, and then Infernal Rain, energies all over the place, being able to just start swinging with just 2 energy attachments, really showcasing how powerful that deck can be.
Yeah, absolutely huge. So
Ooh,
here we are going to game 2. Oh, that's brutal!
So 2 Charizard EX on Yang's side after already a riveting game 1 victory. So, Stéphan, over to you to try and level up the series and potentially try and make your way into day 2 yourself. 25 minutes on the clock to maybe try and finish 2 games.
It's not impossible, but we've talked so many times before about how the Gardevoir deck struggles to win quickly, right? And you do not want to be 1 game down when there's only 25 minutes left on the clock.
No, especially not up against, as we already mentioned, we're going to highlight every single time against a deck which is hitting you for weakness as well. But we have seen Haru, in one of our previous rounds, win a matchup in under 10 minutes.
That is true.
So it can happen. Anything can happen, and we're all here for it.
Anything can happen, and it usually does.
And we do see Stéphan already with the triple route on the board. Mew active spot again as well. Ideal for Stéphan. Does have Radiant Greninja also in the hand. So yeah, just popping off.
That's a phenomenal start, yeah. Interesting how both players actually started with pretty much their optimal starters in Mew this time. That's both players got to be feeling pretty happy about that. But there's the Radiant Greninja as well. Going to come down. There's no energy in hand, though.
No energy in hand yet. But, I mean, with this kind of board setup, I think you're still in a good spot here, as it is a pass over to Yang. He didn't reveal any of those lost cities in his last matchup either.
It's a very good point.
Very interesting. Just quickly cuts Stéphan's deck there after that shuffle. Couple of options. Does have that Forest Sealstone once again. Has Ultra Ball. Has access to Pidgeot V if it's not been prized, which I don't believe it has been.
I don't recall. No, it was the Charizards and the prizes.
Yeah, that was the main thing that we clocked onto. Obviously important. There's the Ultra Ball away of the first lost city. You know, one of those important cards. Looks like that Pidgeot EX is going as well.
Yeah, unfortunate to discard it. Of course, you do only play 2, but I guess in this instance, the other cards in hand being too important to let go of at this point. So
yeah, and you only need 1.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Once you've got 1 up, I mean, it'll be incredible if you ever got 2 up, because you rare candies really need to be focusing on those Charizards. But once you get 1 of those Pidgeot EXs up, just being able to take any card is such a luxury.
Yeah. It's such a luxury, although, as I recall, we did just see not the loser in the debate between Pidgeot EX and Mew EX.
Well, we've seen how powerful it is. You know, it's got an incredible ability. You know, I mean, Yang's playing 2 different Pidgeots in his list.
Oh, that's a good point, actually.
You know, it's showing just how vital this kind of Pokemon has been able to be prevalent in the Pokemon TCG, as he's eyes up that Pidgeot V to use that Forest Sealstone once again.
Yeah, and of course, I imagine that Forest Sealstone is going to, with the Star Alchemy, going to be going straight for that Battle VIP pass, and then going to be getting down, I would guess, a Pidgey and a Charmander.
Yeah, I think because he is going second this time, we'll be looking to try and maybe find another Charmander, because you know, you never know as to what Stéphan's hand might be like. He's able to find something like the Cresselia and just start picking them off. Just having 1 isn't enough.
No, and actually playing an Iona first after playing the Forest Sealstone doesn't find much, though.
Yeah, hoping to just kind of draw into some of those maybe Battle VIP pass and stuff. But still has access to Mew, so further dig.
It's true. And
6 more cards with a Mysterious Tail.
Is that going to be... Oh,
double
there it is.
There, but obviously can only take 1, but that's more than enough.
But now that's really solid though, because now what that means is you can, in theory, if you could just not use the Forest Sealstone this turn, you can decide, you know what, I've got what I need this turn. I might save it so that next turn I can search out my rare candy or like missing combo piece.
Yeah, I'm just double checking the hand again. It's an Ultra Ball, plenty of energies. There's not really too much more going, so you might be right. You know, trying to use that Forest Sealstone for a later turn where maybe he needs a supporter. I think that's probably what's Yang's maybe considering right now, because ideally, if he could, you'd get and use another Battle VIP pass.
Yeah, also very interesting to see that Yangshi does play that Vitality Band. It's a card that hasn't seen much play at all, and certainly not in a very long time, but has been a go-to in some of these Charizard lists, because sometimes that 10 is just the extra push over the edge that you need to get KOs on, especially 280 HP Pokemon V-Star.
Yeah, and it's just a pass over after that attachment there by Yang. So, Stèphane, do you have any answers here to maybe take out that Charmander before he even gets that Charizard EX space?
We'll have to see. Oh, I do see that Town Store. That's very, very big. Of course, this is one of the newer stadiums that lets you once per turn search your deck for any tool card and put it into your hand. You can, of course, use that to find that Forest Sealstone, which will then enable Stèphane to find any card in the deck as long as he finds a way to get down, of course, that Zacian V.
Yeah, only one bench space available, so won't be able to utilize Zacian V with that Forest Sealstone and then the Cresselia afterwards, so just grabs that emergency jelly that we spoke about as well. So maybe just has to think about drawing naturally into those cards.
Yeah, or maybe it could be that the Forest Sealstone's already in hand as well, and that this is just a deck thinning exercise. I think
he did put the Forest Sealstone to the front of the deck there. But you're right, I mean, it's just one of those things where maybe he doesn't want to utilize that last space there.
Yeah.
Does go into the Psychic Embrace Gardevoir and a Fog Crystal, so if Cresselia is available, goes for the energy burst. But if something like the Cresselia is available, can maybe just apply a lot of pressure to Yang's side of the board.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to be said for that. And yeah, like you said, maybe just going for putting down a 2-price at this point could be just a bit too much of a liability. So maybe Stèphane recognizing that and just wanting to go for the deck fin off of the Town Store instead, and saving the Forest Sealstone for later.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is incredible to use in later parts of the turn. If you're able to set up without it, then just grabbing any card that you want. For example, one of those boss's orders to kind of close out a game, or something like a rare candy at a latter stage to be able to bring up that Psychic Embrace. So how's Stèphane going to play this one out? Plays the Fog Crystal as well. Once again, just double checking. Is that Cresselia even available as an option? Goes for it. Looks like a Psychic Energy to the active spot, or to the front of the deck, not active spot.
The Zacian V is in deck, right? It's not prized. I want to make sure we didn't miss anything with that, because I'm not seeing it in the deck. I don't know if I'm just missing it.
No, not right now. Maybe that's exactly why he hasn't chosen to go for that. There's the Cresselia.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I think it might have been prized earlier. We just missed it.
Yeah, it's very, very possible. But here is the Cresselia. I'm not too sure I saw a rare candy in Stéphane's hand either. Double check. Is it available? Looks like it's just a pass. Yeah, maybe just missing a rare candy, because that Gardevoir EX did go into hand, and initiative back over to Yang once again.
Wow, big missed opportunity there for Stèphane. That one Charmander surviving the turn, and so now it's going to be able to turn into a Charizard, and Yang's going to be able to start putting the pressure on Stèphane.
Yeah, because that Forest Sealstone wasn't used, does have the Charizard EX already in hand. A rare candy could just come down from that Forest Sealstone. But first, let's spin the deck a little bit and use that Town Store himself.
Yeah, always a very important thing to do. If your opponent plays a stadium that even if you might not be familiar with or it's not in your deck, make sure you see what it is and see if you can make good use out of it, because it's something that all the best players will do, right? I think back in the day with Brooklet Hill, right? Even if you didn't play any Pokemon that it could search out, people still use it just to look at their deck and see what was prized early on.
Mysterious Tail there, sorry, just grabbing a card to fin a little bit further.
Oh, that's another VIP pass, though.
I think there was a Lost Vacuum, but he does have Ultra Ball in hand, so it's just that option to get it out of the deck and in its entirety. Has Lost Vacuum already in hand as well. So just double checking how he can combo this piece once again. He's in the same similar spot where he could try and go for the Pidgeot EX, having already discarded one, and use this Forest Sealstone.
I think that's what's happening.
Ooh.
Star Alchemy, and
Yeah.
it's like deja vu.
Yeah, it is deja vu. Looks like identifying that Arvin as an option as well. Just so many different combo pieces that Arvin just kind of opens up for the deck.
Arvin, I think, one of the more underrated supporters from Scarlet and Violet. It hasn't really seen play in a lot of things, but where it's been used, it's been pretty effective, I'd say. Of course, just the supporter card that just, when you play it, lets you search your deck for an item and a tool card.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think it's something Shay has been championing throughout this weekend so far as well. And it just gets even better as we progress through the different formats and new sets. But in this scenario, all it needs to do is grab that rare candy. That is a supporter played for turn as well from that Forest Sealstone. Does have Ultra Ball in hand. There you go, discarding the Battle VIP pass and the not so useful Forest Sealstone now. Pidgeot EX coming down. Quick Search will be live.
And we see the Charizard there ready to go in hand as well. So that's going to be Rare Candy into Pidgeot, and then Quick Search can find that other Rare Candy to go into the Charizard, and we are rolling.
Once again, though, is in that spot where there's no other Charmander.
Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to, you can maybe, attach to the Pidgeot V or the Pidgeot EX. They both do have reasonable, if not amazing, attacks. Probably not anything you want to use right now, but not impossible to consider.
Yeah, no, but regardless, this combo chaining of rare candies into your main attacker, that Infernal Rain coming down once again. Is he going to use 3 energy cards this time?
Yeah, he is.
He is. He's identifying maybe he does need to use an efficient attacker in that Pidgeot EX as well.
Yeah, 120 damage and discard the Stadium, which there's quite a few situations where that could be very relevant. Because Blustery Wind, very, very solid attack.
Yeah, solid attack, especially when you're facing up against Stéphane's deck, which usually will be sort of reducing its own HP down from Psychic Embrace, or will have Pokemon which are just simply a bit more squishier.
Yeah. And there goes a manual attachment onto the Pidgeot EX afterwards, and the Pidgeot V finally is squirreling away with that Vanishing Wings.
Yeah, running away. It's done its job. It's got set up. We've got multiple Stage 2 Pokemon on the board now, and there's the announcement of that Burning Darkness attack, taking the KO on that Mew on Stéphane's side of the board.
So let's see what Stèphane can do here. The hand right now not looking amazing in terms of evolution setup. It is quite stacked with things, but I didn't see much in the ways of Curlios or things like that. But they're now getting the Forest Sealstone, and is
Fog Crystal.
Fog Crystal, okay.
Yeah. Fog Crystal for the Psychic Energy. Looking to just try and draw more cards. Hasn't got Refinement out yet. No. This is turn 3, so maybe a bit slower than Stèphane would have liked.
This is going to be a very big concealed card in that case. Yeah, so many cards in hand, but not a single Refinement yet. So going to have a quick look through, and then concealed cards, discard the Psychic. What do they find?
Another Worker.
Another Psychic Energy. I guess you can play that to draw more. All those cards in hand and just nothing.
Oh,
and again!
They still missed it. Double Psychic and an Iono.
Good
no
grief.
Refinement available to Stèphane. And no more supporter able to be played because that draw free from the Worker has come in. This is just the attachment to the active routes.
Wow.
Do you just see a retreat maybe into the Cresselia for the moment?
I guess, yeah, if you maybe you're wanting to preserve the ropes more.
Yeah, I guess it forces Yang into using Quick Search for a boss option. That Luminion doesn't even need to use it. Use Quick Search for it right now as well. So maybe can Luminion for the boss, Quick Search for a Charmander. Few different options and ways to target here.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out what he goes for. There is the Quick Search. Any card in the deck an option here. And actually, is it Iono?
That's an interesting card to use here because it's very similar to a card we both played with N.
Yes, absolutely.
But that's shuffled back into the deck. Knowing Stèphane hasn't found any refinement, Curliers, and having a big hand, playing an Iono kind of pushes himself further and closer to those types of cards.
Yeah, exactly. I think Yang recognizing that, I think actually just decided to, as you suggested, went for just another Charmander there.
Yeah, maybe just having to rethink that. I mean, would you like to see Yang target maybe a route on the bench here just to kind of limit that?
Possibly, yeah. It's one of those things that it's like a little bit hard to say. I think if you're thinking about your overall game plan, right, you want to stop Stèphane from being able to set up with the refinements, but you also can, at this point, you've taken 2 prizes, you can just knock out 2 more 2 prizes to take the win in theory. So maybe in that regard, Yang thinking I value getting that backup of the second Charmander more than an aggressive boss play to KO or Rolls.
Yeah, I guess also taking out the Cresselia, which is a bit of a nuisance if Stéphane's able to. He does finally find a Curlier refinement. But if Stéphane's able to get up a Gardevoir EX and start using that Cresselia to maybe target down the Charmander on the bench, that would have been quite awkward as well. So just making sure you can remove it, now hitting those level balls as well. So Stèphane now just looking for a way to retaliate turn 4.
A little bit later than Stèphane would have liked, I think it is safe to say, but they are finally finding them now, at least. So another level ball being played for the second Curlier now. And I'm sure in an ideal world, Stèphane would love to find a rare candy so they can go into a Gardevoir, and then maybe if they can find... No, the problem is if you get out the Gardevoir EX, you have no way of actually doing an attack that can KO the Charizard, right? Because you have no access to Station V currently.
Yeah, that's the only concern here at the moment, as he does evolve the bench routes into a Curlier, has just put that token onto the Curlier just so for us to follow, and everyone at home as well. Hits another Curlier, it looks like. So it looks like he's just going to go full Curlier this turn. Maybe another slow one, which is a bit unfortunate, but you can't overcommit right now. At the same time, Yang's probably thinking, well, now you've got all those Curliers. Now maybe I can use my Iona.
Yeah, maybe that's now's the time to do it. Although, to be fair, you can just also draw out of the Iona with the Curliers too.
Yeah, but anything to try and limit where possible. It's just another pass from Stéphane's side of the board. Not ideal.
Still not a great situation, right? Because Yang's going to take another prize now, and you only have 2 Curliers to work with. So maybe you have to get out 1 Shining Arcana and 1 EX, I guess, is kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, and here comes another Charmander, looks like, from that Nest Ball. Does have Quick Search available to him. Will we finally see a Lost City come down and start trying to limit some of those Pokemon on Stéphane's side of the board?
That would be very, very big.
Yeah, lots of different options available here, but Yang is just in such a commanding position because he just has that Pidgeot EX ready on the bench when he needs it.
Quick, just 1 card every single turn. It's exactly like I was talking about before, right? It makes your deck the most versatile it can be. If you know every single turn you can get the exact 1 piece that you need to make your turn optimal, like there's very, very, very few things that can match that in terms of pure versatility power.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it might not sound like a lot, right? It's just 1 card, but if it's that 1 card that would fix your hand every single time, it's fantastic. So there's the boss targeting that Curlier with the energy on it.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to limit the amounts of energy that Stèphane would need to retaliate. Energy attachment to the Charmander as well. That attack, once again, Charizard EX, Burning Darkness, dealing plenty of damage. 360 damage after accounting for weakness on just that poor little Curlier.
The poor Curlier never saw it coming. Right, so now Stèphane is really, really feeling the pressure. Like, they know that they are not working with that much, but they need to, at the very least, get a return knockout on this Charizard. Like, if they can't do that, then I think there's not much position for Stèphane to make a comeback. But it does look like Stèphane has the scope to do it, though. I did see there was I think it was the Gardevoir EX that was just drawn. Okay, they already had one in hand, to be fair. But with the refinements and the concealed cards with the Radiant Greninja, I think they can piece it together.
Yeah, Shining Arcana. Remember, we've said already that they need 9 energy. So Reversal offering 3. And then it's just the 6.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 from the Psychic Embrace and 1 attachment from hand, or 6 directly from is absolutely fine. We do see another concealed cards there, but that 9 is very attainable to return KO on the Charizard EX.
Having said that, though, it's going to be crucial for Stèphane to find the reversal energy because, of course, with Gardevoir having less HP than Zacian, you can't just whack 9 energies on there with the Psychic Embrace. You need the reversal energy to get to that 9 energy on it. Exactly
that. So, still in a tricky spot here.
Oh, it's there in hand.
Ah, there you go. So we do have it. Is that mean there's the option? There's another Curlier with another Psychic Energy hitting the discard with another refinement. Level Ball wants to play that Level Ball after a Super Rod at some stage, I'm sure, to kind of rebuild that board. Doesn't want just a Gardevoir EX and a Gardevoir Shining Arcana available. There's the Super Rod.
Yeah, I think all the pieces are there. I saw the Gardevoir EX, I saw the Shining Arcana Gardevoir, I saw the Reversal Energy. I think it's all there. So I think that this is exactly the turn that Stèphane needed to pull off his comeback. So gonna shuffle in those two. Psychic Energy, Level's gonna find the Rocks again, and I imagine it's gonna be Evolve, Shining Arcana, attach a bunch, KO.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna just make sure Stèphane is gonna sequence this as correctly as possible. Of course, will still have access to Shining Arcana as an ability as well, so can potentially just attach via its ability. Hits one.
Oh.
And the Super Rod, but at least that's one to help. Go straight to the active. And now let's see that return.
It's one less Psychic Race you need to do, right? So definitely not going to complain about that. So
there's one. Oh, that's attachment from the hat. Wait, we still haven't seen the Gardevoir EX come down yet, but
yeah. Hold on.
Yeah. I think it's fine. Both players knew.
Got ahead of themselves just a little bit there. And, okay.
Targets the Pidgeot EX.
Okay, no, this makes a lot of sense. The thing is, if you go for the Charizard, you're ultimately just still on the back pedal because Pidgeot will always be able to search the things that Yang needs in order to take the return knockout. You take out the Pidgeot, you take out their consistency engine, and now it's going to be harder for Yang to be able to make that checkmate setup that he made during the last game. Yeah,
it's a great adaptation here from Stèphane because obviously he done the return KO on the Charizard EX last time. Still a little bit behind, unfortunately, but does mean that the Reversal Energy is still active. Had the Emergency Jelly as well, so that Gardevoir is fully healed back up. So Yang will have to deal with it. Rare Candy straight into another Charizard EX, though.
Yeah, that's
it's going to be applying super amount of pressure.
Yeah. Pressure and also thinning the deck with more Fire Energy as well, which is really great. Although, having said that, I think there might only be one in there. Was there two?
I believe I saw two.
Oh, there is two. Okay,
go. So at least that option.
I think your win condition at this point is finding a boss's orders at some point. So I think you've got to go for the Finn, right? You want to make sure that you're most likely as possible to draw that boss's orders to close out the game. But it looks like actually, no, Yang disagreeing, thinking that they'd rather keep that energy in deck just in case. Yeah, I guess may still have access to the Super Rod as well at some stage. Does have the Luminion in hand. It's just whether there's a boss available, but of course then just leaves a Gardevoir capable of taking a return KO. But, you know, there's double Charizard, so is it much of a worry? No, I guess not. Maybe the worry is just for an Iono, right? But
I think this is kind of an awkward checkmate already because Yang has double Charizard EX. It's just free prizes.
You just bossed the Gardevoir now,
if there's a boss available, there's a boss on 2 prizes on the bench, and there's one more Charizard ready to go behind on the bench. You're just setting up that checkmate preemptively. Yeah, there's not much that Stèphane can do here because even if Stèphane Ionos, there's no way of taking out both the Charizards, and there's also no way of making it so that Stèphane can put something out that doesn't get KO'd by Charizard as well. Yeah, massive plays, massive turns. Holding on to that Luminium V has been vital in this game 2 of our final feature match of day 1. Massive knockout here from the Charizard EX. That Burning Darkness dealing even more damage than the 360 to that poor earlier now. And I think the key thing here is that Yang has 3 prizes left, right? That's why this works. If there were 2... Actually, no, even if there were 2 prizes left... there were 4. Yeah, even if there were 4 left, this would still work pretty well, I think, because there's, like... I lost my train of thought a little bit there, but it definitely works better with the fact that there's so much
3
easier with
left.
a 3, because Stèphane... It doesn't matter then what Stèphane has on the board because it's just that one final prize. Some of these Pokemon are quite, we're going to keep using that word, squishy, easy to knock out. Despite this Gardevoir very easily return KOing now. It doesn't matter, right? Yeah, it doesn't really matter because of that bench Charizard EX. It's a really unfortunate scenario that Stèphane just couldn't quite get going on his turns 2 and 3. And it's just... Unfortunately, Yang has been able to, just through that combo piece again with that double rare candies with the Pidgeot EX into the Charizard, into the attacker. Yeah, is there anything Stèphane can do here? I mean, you know, they're playing it out, of course, so there's no reason not to, but yeah, I don't see a way out of this checkmate. There's 2 Charizards doing a ton of damage right now. Yeah, it's one of those things. These players will know more than us. They played their deck, you know, countless hours available for them. That does bench that Cresselia as well. Already 8 energy on that active Gardevoir. Just needs that one more. Chooses to retreat. maybe has to boss something up and maybe
it's going to be boss and
get
Moonglow reverse,
stuck.
isn't it? Yeah.
There you go, the Luminion moving to the active spot. And now it's just trying to take down some easy, cheap prizes with Moonglow Revo potentially.
Oh, and you know what? Maybe this is why Yang wanted to keep the 1 energy left in deck. He wanted to make sure that he had an out against being boss stalled. So actually very, very heads up from Yang there.
Yes, both players, you know, utilizing every ounce possible here. I do believe Stèphane was double checking the number of energy cards that were in or available to him right now. There is currently no retreat option in the hand.
So yeah, it's
draws for
big
turn.
Draw. It's pitch up
Not quite yet. So Stèphane, like I said, playing to all of those outs. Yang will need to try and find that one final piece though. Otherwise, that Mew is another easy target. And then if Stèphane can then load up enough energy and boss up one of those Charizards once more.
That was absolutely huge. Yang had the lost vacuum. Stéphane's not used this for a Seal Stone yet. So that option is now completely taken away.
Yep, so many intricate plays here. It's just a pass back over. Stèphane, what are you able to do in this scenario? Double checks what's remaining in the deck. Obviously doesn't want to push Yang closer to that energy retreat card. So we'll try and avoid using that Iono if possible.
Yeah, Shining Arcana finds a couple of things, nothing really helpful.
Too useful right now. It's just going to be surely just taking a knockout on this Mew. And then if Yang cannot retreat, that Luminium will just stay in the active spot.
Yeah, that's, Collapse Stadium, actually that's really big. It's able to reset all those energies so that another Moonglow reverse can happen. But and now with the Worker as well, going to draw 3 cards.
Leaving 1, so this is his final gambit.
So I think Stèphane might have just been able to pull this off, you know.
Depends on that top deck, Freya. Depends on that top deck. Here we go. One more KO on the Mew. Top deck time. Yang.
What is the top deck?
It's Ultra Ball. I don't think that gives enough right now. This might mean Stèphane is able to take this. It does play the Ultra Ball down. What's available to him?
There's nothing to get there, right?
I don't believe there is.
Has Stèphane actually pulled this off?
Yeah, he's just had to scoop up.
Unbelievable.
Fantastic play by Stèphane Ivanoff to take game 2 after such a slow start. But incredible identifying that was his route to victory there. Wow.
Stèphane there, a masterclass in showing why he is regarded as one of the best players in the world, without a doubt.
Yeah, both players now 1 game apiece. Wow, win and in opportunities. There's really not much time available
that's the
left.
worry now.
So let's just see what happens. But yeah, congratulations to Stèphane there for that game 2 victory. Let's see if there's anything that can happen in this final few turns, in this final few minutes. There's as Stèphane does very quickly show a mulligan as well.
Yep. Just trying to set up as fast as possible. They know that the clock is running very, very short. They know there isn't much time left, and they know that a tie does not help either of them. If they tie, both of them are out of contention for day 2. But either of them needs a win to make it through here.
Yeah, we do get to see the prizes as well. That Mew that's been started twice by Yang is currently sat there nice and pretty at the top. Just a couple of Fire Energies, a couple of Ultra Balls, nothing too crazy. Both players there maybe just looking for one of those unfortunate wishes where your opponent just doesn't draw or start very well.
It has to be that, right, for someone to actually walk away with a win. There is a setup there for Stèphane. It looks like started with a Cresselia, 2 mulligan draws. Here's the flip over the basics, and here we go. Oh, actually, Stéphane's hand is really...
Stéphane's hand is not ideal.
No.
Couple of extra cards there from the mulligan as well. So there's the Battle VIP pass from Yang's side of the board. Is this an opportunity that Yang's got here with just 1 minute remaining on round 9?
It has to be, right? So Yang, for what it's worth, has a phenomenal start. A Battle VIP pass on Nest Balls as well. This might be the strongest setup that they've been able to do this whole series.
Yeah, exactly, and does have that Pidgey in the active spot for now.
For now,
if it evolves up, it's got that free retreat again, can start pivoting where it needs to. This is the first time we might see double Charmander on the first turn from Yang as well. Just 30 seconds remaining from this final round of day 1 Swiss. A lot on the line. Both players still trying to battle it out to make it into day 2. another nest ball. We're just going to keep going.
That's absolutely insane. But of course the problem is this is more time wasted, right? The more like it's you need to play these cards, but at the same time, like you're losing more and more chances to take knockouts.
Yeah, you never want to make a mistake. Of course, still need to play it correctly. This will be Stèphane is turn 0.
Battle VIP pass,
and he's just clutched out 2 basic Pokemon. Yep, Stèphane will be turn 0 because he drew just before the clock was.
That changes everything. I mean, that hand, before the Battle VIP pass, it was an Iono and Prey hand.
Oh, was there an Iono? I didn't even clock the Iono. I just saw energies, and I was just like, I'm really worried for you, Stèphane, here. But that's the game. This is Pokemon. The Iono may have bailed him out as well.
But with that, there's no way, right? There's no way for either of them to be able to take enough knockouts to win here. So I guess it's going to be a tie.
It's very likely just to kind of completely end in a tie here. Stèphane with that Battle VIP pass, grabbing the Radiant Greninja and the routes. Like I said, everything was on the line for both of these players here for day 2. That chance to maybe move themselves into that prize support position. But if it's a tie, both players can walk away also still with championship points. With
that is true.
With you know, heading towards that invite to Hawaii latter part of 2024.
That is true. So conceal cards, gonna find a couple more things. Attaching a psychic energy, you're gonna have to go for that Iono, but it's not a great. If you think about how this game would have been playing out, it's not sort of the discrepancy on the board is quite staggering.
Yeah, you just pushed Yang into that Forest Sealstone as well. Has that Pidgeot V just waiting there. So there's. And the Red Candy and the Charizard. It looks like there was a load of pieces available to Yang already. We'll be able to do that same combo of into the Pidgeot, into the Charizard, and start swinging away as soon as possible. But unfortunately, it does look like it's just both players are going to fall short of that day 2 if this ends in a tie.
Yeah, it sure seems that way. There's the pass from Stèphane, not even going to play the Ultra Ball. Maybe you could have considered going for the Forest Sealstone on Zation to set up even more, but not seeing it being worth it. There's a Forest Sealstone for Yang, though.
Yeah, that same card you just mentioned onto the Pidgeot V. Both players just playing it out. This should be turn 1. I believe that's maybe why that red die is marked above Yang's deck there, just for you guys to follow at home and us to make sure we can follow as well. Has an escape rope at the same time. Can already maybe just Rare Candy into the Charizard and just start swinging away.
Yeah, I mean, why not at this point, right? It's but not got much else to do.
It's one of those things where just having that Pidgeot EX, we've already seen how powerful, how versatile it is. Just grabbing what you want, can do it again.
Yeah,
it's actually amazing just to watch this come out and play. The sequencing involved as Yang just kind of deliberates the cards in his hand.
Yeah, I think if the two of them are talking about something, maybe it's about how this might play out if it went on. But no, yeah, Rare Candy Charizard. Infernal Ring going to come in and attach a bunch of energy. Imagine you can just put 1 on the active and then 2 on the Charizard and just start swinging, basically.
Yeah, great value this time round, not having just to choose 2 like he did in game 1. It still has that escape rope in hand as well.
That is true.
So that can just start targeting one of those more vital support Pokemon. One of the routes as being one of the key cards in Stéphane's deck, but also that Radiant Greninja, which allows Stèphane to continue to draw so many cards. Yeah, there's the escape rope coming down. Radiant Greninja is the easier choice here. Anything getting knocked out from 180 damage from Burning Darkness.
Yep, and I think you'd rather have 2 rolls out than, obviously giving up
just the one. Yeah,
giving up Radiant Greninja isn't ideal, but it's definitely better than giving up one of your.
Oh, look at that! The Lost City finally coming down as well. So no more Radiant Greninja if this game was to continue much longer. Does still have Iono in hand, so it looks like he's able to play out his whole hand here, which is quite incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty insane going. Debating whether it's worth attaching to the Charmander as well.
Just the additional attacker, getting prepped, ready, Iono in hand.
But maybe
uses Forest Sealstone.
Oh yeah, it's not even used the Star Alchemy yet. Yeah.
So many options available. I'm interested in what he's targeting. Oh, it does look like a boss was grabbed
Oh, okay.
Boss into the routes and maybe just lost Izzy.
I guess that makes sense, right? Yeah, those bosses on the rolls. Just deny that. Oh,
just double checking which routes to target.
Yeah. No, I think Stèphane was checking whether a supporter was played.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yang looks like he's just choosing which routes to put into the lost zone there. As a Burning Darkness will become down. Oh, Vanishing Wings first, of course. Again, still playing it correctly.
I guess in this instance, right, it does make more sense to like be kind of proactive and target down the rolls because, of course, you're lost zoning it, right? That lost city is actually a pretty big deal, and just preventing Stèphane from being able to shuffle anything back in with a super rod.
Yeah, completely right. Stèphane here just left with 1 route. He moves to the X spot there. The die has been moved to the 2. Is there much else either player could do here? There's a boss draw. Right? There's a worker being drawn. Could remove that lost city because it's a nuisance.
Yeah, there's also an Ultra Ball there and a Forest Sealstone, so you could, finally go for a Forest Sealstone, or go for a Zacian V rather, and then just Forest Sealstone onto it and find something. But I don't even know what you'd find here.
Yeah, Ultra Ball, that emergency jelly away, and looks like, can't quite decide between the worker and Iono. Does choose the Iono in the end.
I think you don't want to give your opponent a massive hand, right? So your opponent's leaning on a very small hand size, so...
Very true, very true.
Don't want to be giving them more options to work with.
And remove that lost city just to kind of get it out of the way. Yep. Don't want to have to deal with that. Wants access to all of those routes where possible. Looks like it's targeting the Zacian, as you've already mentioned there, Freya.
Yeah. That will, of course, enable the Forest Sealstone to get used, and Star Alchemy will be able to then search any card out of the deck.
We do see the V-Star marker being flipped over there. Any cards from the deck.
Just a Psychic Energy, it looks like.
Interesting choice, just to be able to draw through some more cards.
Yeah, I guess so.
This really has been a showcase of how Charizard EX is able to just burst through a number of decks, and particularly when it's hitting into weakness here. But as we kind of saw in Game 2, another showcase from how Guardy can be so versatile in its own way of defeating such a difficult deck.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ability use marker.
Oh yeah.
Flicking away, but on that Radiant Greninja. Concealed cards being activated with that Psychic Energy.
Draw 2.
Battle VIP pass, not useful here.
Nope.
Curlier, I believe.
That's it.
And
okay.
Does that mean both players from this scenario just trying to work out what could be done? It looks like Stèphane they may have had a bit of a agreement.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get that updated and try and find out for you guys as soon as possible. Okay, but we'll see how both of these players have decided to end this game here. As we do see, Yang has just been able to really commit to that Charizard EX and been able to, plow through that that Gardevoir.
And from what I can see there, it looks like I think we had the competition. I think Yang did win. It looks like so. That's what we saw, signing the match slip at least. So
yeah, it looks like a signing of the match slip. It looks like a concession there from Stèphane in the work.